Wherever you go from here, you have to promise to take care of that little boy for me. Make sure he never forgets where he came from. And he never doubts that he is loved. And he never lets anyone tell him that he doesn't belong there. You gotta promise, Miles.
I promise. Whosoever hears this audio, if they be worthy, shall possess the insight, human, and superhuman abilities of the world's mightiest metahumans. Accompanying this journey of high-quality nerd commentary, we got my man Colton, a.k.a. Pizza Parker. Talk to the people.
Boy, Colton, a.k.a. Pizza Parker, a.k.a. Runner Miles Morales, nigga. What is we talking about? A.k.a. K-Flock Morales, a.k.a. M-Thang. Not to be confused with D-Thang from the Bronx. I'm actually a Puerto Rican nigga that shoot niggas from Brooklyn. Morales. You feel me?
I'm liking it. We also have the greatest engineer in every Alchemax. I mean, my son Gas, say what's up.
Yo, what's up?
Yes, sir. And you know who it is? It's your boy Dennis, a.k.a. Old Dirty Dennis, a.k.a. the Spectacular Dennis, a.k.a. Meals Morales, a.k.a. Miguel Brohara, a.k.a. Den Riley, the Scarlet Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Potter.
I'm a clone.
On the mic, talking perfect pose. 3 people, 1 podcast. Yo, welcome to another issue of the Mighty Metahumans podcast. Fellas, what's up? How you feeling?
I'm about to yell.
This nigga's about to go nuts.
I got a Super Saiyan rant for our overall shit in the beginning, so you might want to go first.
All right. So if you guys can't tell, at least by the AKs, we are talking Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, okay? I definitely had to see this movie more than once because, like I was telling Colton, in like production, like I had to watch this movie as a fan of just Spider-Man and like animation, and I have to watch it as an artist. You know what I mean? Just to like take in all the techniques that they use. They did so much with this movie. And like we were talking about before, I didn't even think they could top the first one. Like stylistically, like everything was just like phenomenal in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow these niggas did better than the first one. Somehow. I have no idea how they pull that shit off, which blows my mind because it's the third one. So how do you go how do you go beyond this? You know what I'm saying? It's like
beyond, good word.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's like when niggas saw like Super Saiyan for the first time, was like, yo, how the fuck? And then somehow they go Super Saiyan.
And they remixed it.
Yeah,
nigga.
like, yo, how the fuck you keep going beyond this? So I
we
mean,
know how it goes after Super Saiyan 2, baby.
Yeah. So, you know, like obviously overall sentiment, 5 out of 5. Like we could just start it off right there. Like this is, you already know the type of time we're going to be on this episode. Like 5 out of 5 to me. Like I have no complaints about this movie, honestly. Like I wasn't even mad at it having like a cliffhanger. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you knew whatever happens in this movie is gonna like carry over into the final one, like however it ends. So I wasn't even mad. So I know Colton is going to go on his crazy rant. So before he jumps in, I'm going to just talk like art mode because I just recently saw it again. And honestly, this is just like a fucking masterclass. These niggas did not waste a frame. Like, I can't wait to own this, to go through this frame by frame. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We're going to do that on the pot. We're going to do that over in my room.
Yes. Like, even like the little things, like the way they use like watercolor for like Gwen's world and shit, to just show like when she was like moody, and then like they would show like, yeah, and they would, like the art told the story.
Ambient coloring.
Nigga. And it was like each one was its own style of art. Like hers was watercolor. Like obviously. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everything was like dreary.
Don't say obviously. They got niggas that can't paint or draw like me.
Okay.
So just break it down for the people. Talk to us like we 5. But not really. You could curse. These is badass kids you talking to.
So no, like her, like the whole Chelsea, New York watercolor shit, like the way like when her father would enter the room and like he would be like a bright orange to like show that like he's like her, like
he's the light.
Guiding light. Yeah, exactly. So like there's like that scene where like he says something to her and like she hugs him and her whole room lights up. Like it goes from like purple to like it's like, you know what it's like? Again, like you got to be like an artist to get it, but like, you know, like if you dip like a brush into like a paint and then you let it drip onto like another color, how it spreads.
Okay.
That is exactly how they did that shit in this movie. amazing. Like they did shit that like you recognize as a fan, and then they do shit that you recognize if you're just an artist and you just appreciate art. There's no way you can't appreciate this movie, bro. Like it's literally impossible. These niggas did such a, even like little things where like when they're like web slinging through the city and he like grabs the hot dog, and in a split scene, like you can miss it if you blink. It literally says take. You know what I'm saying? Like just little shit like that. You could tell this shit was made with so much fucking love. Like these niggas were passionate. This wasn't a check. You know what I'm saying? This shit was not a job.
Ooh.
Like these niggas, like this was important to these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like I really appreciated all the little things like that. Like like, oh my God, son. Like I like, it shit made me flustered. You know what I'm saying? That's why I needed to see this shit more than once. Honestly, like just watching like the little, like honestly, like a perfect example. So the fact that this shit was a little darker, I did appreciate. The one thing I thought about like after seeing this shit twice was what would be my favorite moment across the whole movie. You know what I'm saying? And I think my favorite moment, which is surprisingly, it has nothing to do with any of the action, is his mom when she tells that speech.
I cried.
Yo.
I cried.
I honestly, that was probably,
I needed it. I needed to hear it.
You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like some shit that you just needed to hear. Like no matter, and you know what it is? This is not even about like the Spider-Verse or Spider-Man or anything. Like just
it's
real
just
life
immersion
shit.
and emotions,
exactly,
and stakes. And these are like, if you watch this from an objective point of view, that's not like I'm not watching a comic book movie, or I'm watching a kids animated movie, or I'm watching a Spider-Man movie. I'm watching a Sony this movie.
Yeah.
If you're watching a movie and you're following the plot, and you're looking for conflict, you're looking for resolutions, you're looking for you're looking for like an emotional push for your main character to do what they have to do, to make the decisions that they have to make, and to be the person that they're supposed to be. And in this case, that person is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man embodies just a person that will always look out for the community, will always look out for the little person. And if it's somebody even more important to them, they're definitely going to try to reach out and do the things that they have to do. So just the emotional stakes in this movie in general, just outside of the Spider-Man and comic shit, was a 5 out of 5, like just movie plot in general. You could kind of plug and play other characters in there.
I'll even take it a step further than just movies. Like this is just real life shit.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it's a conversation I've seen recently, like even with like social media, when people are like, oh, like I don't like people that play video games and shit like that. Like I like the idea. She was like, yo, protect that little kid, like no matter what, no matter where you go. And I feel like that's some real shit you could apply to like real life, where niggas like assume that once you get to a certain age of like maturity, like you're not supposed to enjoy the things that you enjoyed when you were like younger. Like it's like an archaic, like once you get to a certain age, nigga, you just work and you die, and like that's it. Like I feel like the movie, like beyond the movie, like that scene was just like, yo, protect that little kid, protect your inner childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what you do, he wanted to like go to New Jersey or whatever to like study science and shit like that. She was like, yo, do all that, go to all those famous places, meet all those amazing people, but always protect that part of you. And I felt that on just like a human level, you know what I'm saying? Like beyond the movie, beyond all that shit, was just like it felt like they were just speaking to the audience. Like, yeah, you're here watching this movie, but real shit, like don't forget that part of you. Like the interesting part, like outside of your work, outside of your like responsibilities, like protect that. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, like that's probably my favorite scene across the entire movie. No action. I mean, granted, it had like a ton of great scenes, but that was the definitive like scene for me.
Okay. So that was the humble.
Yeah, go crazy,
part,
bro. Because like
right?
we're gonna do like a summary.
I
of the
had
movie
to
and shit, but go
shotgun my
crazy.
bear and finish my spliff to ask you niggas one question: who's your favorite superhero? And if it's not Spider-Man, why is their movie not better than Across the Spider-Verse? Because there's no comic book movie better than this movie right now. I'm telling you, live action, animated, anything you could fucking think of, it's done. You're out of here. You finished. DC, how will you respond? MCU, how will you respond? Sony cares, nigga. And they showed us that they cared by giving us an amazing animation, amazing storytelling, amazing characters. There's 252 different Spider-Men, and all of them are hot.
I'm gonna throw a little more.
All of them are hot.
I'm gonna throw a little more gasoline on his rant fire. I'm gonna say it right now because I believed it, especially after I saw the second one. Right now, pound for pound, at least across with Spider-Man, definitively for me, he got the best 1-2 movie like across all Spider-Man.
This
live action, whatever.
Let me
whatever
tell you something right now about sequels, nigga. Y'all know what a sequel is? Let me explain the sequel to the niggas that don't know what a sequel is.
Explain like they five.
It's the second movie. Do you know that there's a sequel curse? Do you know that usually exists where the second movie's not better than the first movie?
Not here, bro.
That's not here.
Not here.
Not here. And you know what? I'm finna say it right now.
Go ahead.
This finna be the best comic book trilogy niggas has ever seen in their life.
You not even.
Easy.
It's not even a hot take. That's
Easy.
a cold take to me because I agree. Like
easy.
These niggas killed the first two.
I'm gonna be real. This movie. How many legs does Spider got?
Let's go 8. 4 on each side.
8 out of 5, nigga. This movie passes the scale of 5 out of 5. It passes the scale of 10 out of 10. It passes the scale out of 100 of 100. They OD'd. They overachieved. And then not only did they overachieve, but niggas went into it with like already knowing that it's gonna be good, and they surpassed that beyond like any level. And like,
honestly,
I'm biased, and this is me telling you from a biased point of view. This was way better than I thought it would be. Like, I knew it was gonna be good, but like I did not expect this to be emotional stakes, great characters, great support. Everyone's storyline that breaks off is as important and as amazing. I love Gwen. I love Peter B. Parker and Mayday. I love Miles. And we're gonna talk about Miguel later because niggas know I love 2099, but that nigga's a fucking cop. And like I'm gonna talk about him later. But even his emotional journey of him projecting everything onto Miles, even Miles being an anomaly and him being beyond.
Yo, shout out to my son Pav. Indian
Yo,
Spider-Man,
and even I was about to say Indian Spider-Man, Hobie, nigga, Spider Punk, the goat, like Scarlet Spider, Web Slinger, Spider Monkey, nigga,
we gonna talk about all the
Spider Rex, nigga, Spectacular Spider-Man, 1960 Spider-Man, Bombastic Bagman, nigga, Negative Spider-Man,
Spider Cat,
Spider Bat, Spider Side, fuck. It like
they went crazy.
Lego Spider-Man.
They went crazy.
They went crazy. This is a thing where they made a movie which is like an amazing love letter to Spider-Man and who Spider-Man is. Spider-Man's whole story is about loss and then finding strength in that loss to make sure that the community doesn't have to suffer those same losses. And you're still gonna struggle, but because you're a beacon of the community and of hope and like of I'm never going to give up. I'm smiling through it all. I'm telling jokes through it all. That's ultimately what makes a Spider-Man Spider-Man. So even them throwing in the Miles thing where like you realize, I guess Miles wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man, but through the events of the first movie of what happened and he becomes Spider-Man, it kind of changes the timelines and like it kind of makes him an anomaly in this situation. And it's just like them going through the navigation of like family. That's one thing, like family. And then even with the Spider-Verse, they're like a family. Miguel, he lost his family. He did some fucked up shit and now he's projecting that shit onto everybody else. Indian Spider-Man, he almost lost the captain. Like, you get what I'm saying? The captain is a canon event. Everybody loses a captain or somebody important to them. So like, this movie went through so many different themes that all like kind of intersected and like came in together.
See what they did there?
Like a web. And then like even things like they showed the MCU sacred timeline and they said, look at this, right? But now look at us, nigga.
Exactly.
We this big overwhelming web like
Nigga.
that. We do this, and
Even
I was overwhelmed.
even sitting here when they were talking about like we were just going through like all the different things that make up a Spider-Man.
Mhm.
The unique thing about with even Miles is when you look at how all the other Spider-Men kind of fell in line with what Miguel was saying.
Miguel's saying.
Miles was like, that's still not right. And that is the essence of Spider-Man.
And that's
where
the
it's like,
essence
yo,
of who
this
Spider-Man is.
not right. Like, I can't just agree just to agree. Like, Spider-Man could do both. Like, he kept saying it. Like, I got to be able to save my dad. Like,
every Spider-Man, every real Spider-Man, I will say, will take that chance. And honestly, Miguel is a real Spider-Man because he took that chance and fucked things up.
Exactly.
But now he wants to keep everybody else in line. And I guess people are staying in line. But at the end of the day, Spider-Men are fundamentally the person that's going to try to be selfless. And they're going to try to protect
Miles
other
the
people.
Anomaly. Because he broke out of that and was like, nah, like, no. And I feel like in the end, somehow by the third one, just the projection is they'll all agree with him. Like, yo, this really isn't right. Like, we should be able to save everybody.
I feel
Fuck
like
that
he's
shit.
going to, because he's the anomaly, he's going to find a way to break that shit. And
He did with Gwen.
Yeah.
When when her pops was like, I'm not even going to be a captain no more. She was like, wait.
She's like, so you're safe.
Yeah. So it's just like, yo, and that's what fueled her. Like, yo, I got to go save this nigga. Like, he figured this shit out somehow.
So
even with
again,
him not being here, like, he saved my dad. Like,
and even then, all right, let's get further, right?
Let's go.
Because this is going to get into your art shit. Prowler Miles.
Yo.
So
I already know where you're going because they did. Go ahead.
The father, Jefferson Davis, is a very integral part to keeping people away from like crime. Literally, not him just being a cop, but just him being in people's lives keeps them away from that crime shit. I truly believe because Jefferson Davis is dead in this timeline. That is Miles was always supposed to become the Prowler because he chills with his uncle and he more fucks with his uncle. Yeah. And not only that, there was times in the other Spider-Verse movies when his powers he was getting like his spider senses and they would show purple and green. And then it would turn to blue and red, which means like he's becoming Spider-Man. Like his timeline actually changed from what it's supposed to be. Because I always used to watch the older movies, and when he would have his spider senses in the beginning and it was going haywire, it would go between purple and green and red and blue. And I'd be like, why is it going between these two fucking colors? Completely forgetting that was the Prowler colors. Yeah. And then now seeing it get here, I'm just like, oh, they planned this. This was a plan. And not only that, his father is because when you really think about it, when his pops and his brother was running together, they was doing crime and shit, and then he decided not to. Yeah. And then he went on the right path. And I guess that ended up making his Uncle Aaron being his Uncle Ben. Yeah. Because he's gonna become the Prowler, and Miles would be on the side of good because he's he loves his dad. Yeah. He has his dad there. Mm-hmm. And now in this universe 42, where the spider don't never bite Peter Parker, and like there's no Spider-Man.
So I'm gonna blow your mind right now.
And there's mad crime.
I'm gonna blow your mind. That spider, there's a scene. It was never gonna bite Peter in that one. It was actually supposed to bite that Miles.
Oh.
Because after he lost the dad, there's literally a split scene. Like, there's that scene where Miles and Spot kind of like have half their face.
Yeah.
And they show like a flash of like alternate reality. If you look, this is again when I said it early in the episode where they do like these split frame. There's a split frame of the Miles with the braids, and they show the spider creeping towards that Miles.
Oh,
he was supposed to bite that Miles.
So again, that would mean just Miguel is projecting
exactly
this entire time
because that Miles would have had the loss of kind of like a Toby where he lost Uncle Ben and he has these powers now, and it's like, yo, we're great power. These are great responsibility.
That Miles would have got bit. He would have lost his pops. His pops would have been like, oh, that Miles would have been
he would exactly.
You know what who that Miles would have been? And they should just make it that Miles should be PS5 Miles. Because that's what happened. You know, like his pops dies, he gets bit, he becomes Spider, but there's no Peter Parker that's a Spider-Man though. But that should be like an alternate version of that.
Because technically, the way it turned out, which is hilarious, that Miles, the evil Miles, is supposed to be our Miles. And the Miles we have here, we're not even supposed to have him because
Yeah, this
Peter
is a
was supposed to
different
live.
dimension Miles.
Exactly. So it's like they flipped the story on his head, where it's like the spider. Let's say we use the video game version. That Miles is actually our evil Miles.
So this is also like a Rick and Morty situation because
Yes.
so Earth 42 is supposed to be our Earth.
Yes.
Okay.
So they flipped they flipped the whole shit on his head. That's why they keep calling this nigga Anomaly, because clearly a Miles is supposed to exist as a Spider-Man. It's just not this Miles. It's that Miles.
That's true.
Which is fucking nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like they killed that shit.
This movie is like,
and even the way they intertwined the story with this movie, with the last one, where like Spot was the dude that got hit with the bagel when they were running.
Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly. And for him to like tie that back, it's like, oh shit, like something just that small. This nigga is like, because to me, like before the movie came out, I was like, how are they going to break down who Spot is?
Well,
like,
I already could
they just
figure that
connect
Spot
with
had to
that
do with
shit.
the collider. I was like, he's probably gonna be like a nigga that like worked on the collider.
And I feel like it's so perfect because that's the humor part of it. Where it's like something so small, this nigga got hit with the bagel, got trapped in there with the Alchemax shit, and then became the Spot.
Also, as a person that
hilarious.
really liked Spot, because he was a gag character in Spider-Man, they made him be a joke to so fucking terrifying so fast. And I was like, this is also even I don't know what it's called. You could probably name it for me, but like I love when they do that squiggly line black shit, like when somebody's like a unknown entity type of shit.
That's what I like about Mob Psycho 100.
Mm-hmm.
They do the same.
I love that shit too. I don't know what that style is called, but like just that, like in anime they do that a lot when they like show God. Yeah, it's always like some squiggly line, like.
It's like a blackened figure,
but it's like, and like
rough,
they did that with him, but then did the opposite, the white spots on him when he's like in super crazy God mode. And I was just like, damn, this.
And then they mixed that style with the watercolor because behind him, it was like multiple shades of like purple and shit.
So I'm just like, fuck. Like he looks like a cosmic being now. Like he's God.
These
like
niggas
now.
is going crazy, son.
That the animation just of everything. Like, even one of my favorite action scenes is Hubie, Gwen, Spider-Man, India, and Miles just saving all the people.
Yes.
Like that shit was fucking like amazing from like, and again, this was done with love. And you can see that it was done with love because you can watch the different frames of animations as different people did different things next to each other.
Perfect
and it's
example.
different.
Thank you for leading me into that. I want to talk about Spider-Punk, bro. Like, aside from the character itself being a dope character, the design being a dope design
is ridiculous.
Daniel Kaluuya killing the role.
Man's like Miles. He don't listen to nobody, brother, just like me.
On just a technical level, listening to them explain little things, like the fact that they animated this nigga slower than all the other characters because he likes to stand out. He doesn't like to follow rules. So even his animation doesn't follow typical animation rules. They slowed this nigga down to like 4 frames per second or some shit just to make him choppy to fit his character. Because if you watch just him, even with other people on the screen, if you watch just his character, the way like he moves slower than everyone else, the fact that his design color changes per frame. Like 1 minute he's in like the typical Spider-Man suit, the next frame he's like cut with like newspaper articles. You know what I'm saying? Like he looks like he's like cut out. He looks like old English rock band like posters, like pasted together like on a sheet of paper. That's how they made this nigga look. They killed that shit, bro. Every time he was like a scene stealer for me. Honestly, every time he was there, this nigga killed. Even when he was like, yo, you think I'm gonna show you my secret identity? No, I'm not. Like everything about him was fucking fire. And like I would love to get more of just Spider-Punk. Honestly, like I'm sure they can expand now because like they showed that they can. You know what bothers me too? They're so good at the animation part. I feel like if they poured this type of love into their live action shit too, Sony would be way fucking further ahead, bro. Like they poured love into this shit. Like even what you were just saying, like I can only imagine the amount of artists that had to work on this. And it's like your job is just to do Spider-Punk. Gas's job is just to do Scarlet Spider. My job is just to do Miles. And like everyone does their job to the utmost highest
perfectly
level
next to each other.
and then put that shit together, bro. And that's magic. You know what I'm saying?
Like just like one specific frame of Hobie when he like flips down like on the street and he hits his like guitar.
Yes.
And the colors like ripple and change. Like, and
Bro.
I remember just watching this shit and it's like, and I'm gonna be honest, it's so overwhelming.
No,
like it is so overwhelming because, and especially to me, because I love Spider-Man and I love every iteration of Spider-Man, and I was one of the first niggas to argue for the clone saga being amazing in Spider-Man. Seeing all the different Spider-Men, seeing them come from like within Web with Madam Web and all the different alternate versions popping out. I was like, I need more of this. And they kept doing more of it. And that just all culminated to this beautiful love letter to Spider-Man and who Spider-Man is. And give us all these different amazing iterations of different races and animals and just all types of fucking crazy shit from different eras. Like, it was just amazing to just watch. Like, even to see people get representation like an Indian Spider-Man, like, you get what I'm saying, like, or a British black Spider-Man that does
little
punk
things with just like even when they give them like, you know, these chances to shine, like the whole Mumbattan and everything. Even
that was amazing.
Even when they do like the spiderweb whip and shit, they changed the language to match wherever they were. So like if you watch it, like if he like does like the thwip, it would be like Indian. Like you'd have to have that shit translated. They took such care with even like his Manhattan is a dope Manhattan. Like it was like multiple levels. Like the structure, it just kept going. Like as Miles fell, like you just kept saying like, yo, like why is there like so many different levels to like this universe or whatever? It just felt like it as he descended, more things were going on. Like their trains were like at the bottom of the track and shit. Like they made every world unique. You know what I'm saying? Like Pav is one of my favorite Spider-Man in the movie. Like even the way he uses his web.
That shit is amazing. With the bangles, is fucking fire. First of all, take notes, MCU. That's how you use some damn bangles, nigga.
Bro.
That's how you use some goddamn bangles. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shit was amazing.
That was hard. Even his little things like, yo, when Miles was like, yo, chai tea, and he was like, bro.
That's like saying tea, man. Come on, man. It's like, what you gonna say, non-bread next? Say bread? I was like, yo, dead ass, man.
But I like that because Miles did the same thing to Spot earlier. When he was like, yo, it's not an ATM machine. The M in ATM is machine, bro. Like, you're saying ATM machine. So it's like, he's also being corrected. So it's like a clear Spider-Man thing across all universes where like little things like that, little quips like that, is just universal, no matter who you are. And I thought that was like really fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, honestly, the whole movie was a flex to the point where it's like every scene is a flex. And then within every scene, every frame is a flex. And it's like they did that shit so effortlessly, it blew my mind. Like what you just said, like when you were overwhelmed, me watching it the second time in just art eyes was fucking overwhelmed, bro. Like they flexed across 2 hours and 20 minutes or however long that movie was, the entire movie. Like they wasted nothing. I absolutely fucking love that shit. Like that's what it's like you said, it can't even be a 5 out of 5 for me. Like
it has to be because like it just hits on too many different levels. Like even the emotional factor. Again, like you were saying, your favorite scene is
with the mom. Yeah,
is with the mom. That's one of my favorite emotional scenes. But my actual favorite scene is the chase on the train that we've seen multiple times, like in trailers, but it's completely different.
They did it better
in the movie. And I will also commend them. Hats off for the first time ever. You showed us most of the movie in the trailer, and I had no idea what the fuck was gonna happen
exactly
in the theater. So that scene on the train of just Miles, him just coming into his own, him just like figuring shit out, him being like, I know what I'm gonna do. Everyone always tell me what I'm supposed to do.
This nigga went full Raekwon.
He said, I'm gonna do my own thing. He said, also, I got all y'all bitch ass niggas to be up here. Come on, and then fucking dipped. I was like, this is amazing.
And you know what's ill about that? I laughed in the theater until I watched it the second time where like Peter B was like, yo, I taught him how to do that.
Yeah. Because he was right.
It was in the concept of like the conversation, it was funny, but it was also dope because he did that.
He did.
In the first movie, he
Yeah.
let him go and he fell back into his universe. So this nigga literally taught him to do this shit.
And that's
that
a fact.
Was ill.
And then
son.
also their relationship, just like him being like, I was unsure to have kids, but now because I fuck with you, like I had Mayday.
Dope.
And
hold
I'm
my
like,
baby. Like,
yo. And he's like, you're so bad at holding babies. And he's like, but like at the same time, it's like family. Again, sometimes, like you, man, it's family you choose, bro.
Exactly.
And like you guys meet each other from very weird ways. And like, of course, like again, when Miles realized y'all got a new y'all fucking with Mad Spider-Man and y'all didn't even come see me. And then him even finding out like kind of the betrayal of like y'all had this conversation about, man, y'all ain't even cue me in. That's crazy. But even then, Miles, this Miles is shout out Raekwon, man. This nigga did so good as Miles, and this Miles is like, and I will say it. I'll say it here, guys. Y'all don't get tight
with your chest.
But Miles is way better off than Peter Parker kind of ever was, like, as like a Spider-Man. And it's in part because he had a Peter Parker to guide him. You get what I'm saying? So that is paying it forward. And I do believe that, and this is a hot take maybe, but I do believe moving forward in like the comics and shit, they should give Peter Parker more like mentor type roles. And I don't think he should be the focal point like they be trying to force him to. Like, I love Peter Parker. Again, this is a Spider-Man stand. Peter Parker is the reason why I love Spider-Man. But passing on the mantle is important sometimes, especially when you have two characters that everyone loves. We love Peter Parker. We love Miles Morales. Mad people could see themselves in both of these characters. I'm not saying take Peter Parker away and never show him
He's
again.
Still the foundation.
But we should probably push Miles a little bit more to the front. Again, times are changing. We're getting older. The youth like Miles, we could push this forward, man. I think this movie's gonna be one of the main factors to be like, damn, okay, we probably should just push this forward, because this movie just showed a perfect range of like multiple Spider-Mans could exist at one time.
Yes,
amazingly, all the time. But let the new generation do their thing, man. I feel like this was amazing for that.
In my mind, and I'm just throwing it out there, I have no proof. But I feel like because they showed how they can merge different styles into like a movie and make it work the way they did, even live action with Prowler, you know what I'm saying? Getting Donald Glover to actually put on the costume.
That is crazy too.
And tie that shit in because they were like, yo, he got caught by Spider-Punk. You know what I'm saying? And that would make sense why he's no longer currently in the MCU as Prowler or Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's not there because they captured this nigga. Great way to tie in all these different stories together where it makes sense in a way where it's like the MCU didn't plug those holes, so we can like jump in there and like make it seem like we're all connected somehow. You know what I'm saying? So my theory going into the third one is somehow that by the end of that shit, because I don't when do we get the next one? Next year? 2 years?
March 2024.
2024. Okay. I feel like by the end of that, it's gonna leave an open space for them to be like, we have an idea who we want for a live action Miles. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they kept weaving in and out of like real and like different styles, like where they showed like Toby, they showed Andrew, they showed the Venomverse, they showed all these different things, and then still came back to like their style of like animation. It's like all these worlds exist. So at some point, especially with the height and rise of Miles in like this trilogy, we have to like announce or like connect it to an MCU type thing or a Sony thing.
So here's where my action. Crazy brain is going right now, right?
I'm with you.
The next movie proves that our Miles, the one we watched as Spider-Man, is an anomaly. I think this could be a crazy idea.
I'm already with it because that's where I was going.
I think by the end, he does lose it all. I think he loses it all, and then he ends up having to go to like the MCU or the Sony universe. Either the Sony universe or the MCU, and then it's gonna be the end credits might be live action Miles. Exactly, and that would be like, oh shit, okay, because in my head, we show the Venomverse. You know what I'm saying? We show a live action Prowler. You get what I'm saying? Morbius exists in the Venomverse.
Vulture.
Vulture from the MCU exists in the Venomverse. We show the sacred timeline from the MCU. You get what I'm saying? Or what if Beyond the Spider-Verse ends and that nigga ends up in the MCU for Secret Wars?
That's what I'm saying,
Or something like that.
I feel like because they're playing with this whole timeline and multiverse thing, they have to connect it, because you can't just bring in Miles after you do all this Spider-Verse and connecting tissue and then just bring him in like regular. Like, he has to connect to all this somehow. So if you do that, the perfect way is towards the end, special end credit scene and some shit where, just like you said, like, he loses everything and he ends up in a different universe. He ends up in the same universe with Tom Holland, who would be older now and could be his mentor.
Yeah, also, niggas wouldn't remember him like that, besides maybe Star-Lord.
Exactly. It's fucking perfect.
And it would be perfect also for Tom Holland, because now he has somebody he relates to. Someone that, like, no one knows. Like, he's popped
the only,
out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
now they have
here.
their own little secret, whatever. It's perfect, man.
And then also, to just, somehow, let Childish Gambino Prowler escape. And get into the Sony universe somehow.
Please. After seeing this nigga in costume.
It looked good. I wasn't tight. I wasn't mad about it. I seen it. He was like, "You're staring." Yeah. I was like, "Oh shit, okay." I said, "All right, my brother. I think I might want to see you in a Sony movie." That nigga gonna be in Morbius too, y'all. Morbius 2 coming soon. We gonna get Vulture. We gonna get Childish Gambino Prowler. We gonna get Miles. We gonna get Morbius. It's gonna go crazy, y'all.
Son, no, I really appreciated the little things like that. And what made me really excited about it is the fact that they put so much love into this shit. I would like to see that done for like their live action shit. Like, they're talking about Silk. They're talking about Madam Web. Craven has a rated R movie coming.
Yeah.
Like, pour this type of love into your Spider-Verse beyond Miles movies. Nigga, that's success right there. Like, why would you not want like Amy Pascal, she's mentioned her connections, with Feige and, all the things that they do. Nigga, you have a banger right here. Like, this should be the blueprint for all of your films going forward within that Marvel faction. Like, putting this much love into that and seeing the results of it and how people, like, how we're talking about it. We haven't said one bad thing about this movie so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been here literally just showering this shit with praise. Because I feel like me findings is literally me being a hater. I literally have nothing negative to say about this movie. From the humor, from the emotional aspect, from the art, nothing. What do you want me to complain about, nigga? Like, it should have been 20 minutes longer. Like, what the fuck? Like, I have literally nothing bad to say about this film. Like, it's like you said, it's a fucking love letter to Spider. If you're a Spider-Man fan, which you should be on some level, even if it's not Peter, if it's Miles, whoever, they killed this shit, bro. Like, everyone had their chance to shine. Like, we haven't talked about Miguel yet, but honestly, I just want to give my hats off to the animators of Miguel. Like, every one of his scenes, if you just look at the background shit, they were just flexing on like they took like the what do you call that shit? Like, when you draw and you make like the basic skeletal figure before you flesh it in, they were adding shit like that in the background. Like, they had like the parts where, like, when you create a comic, you write the editor's notes and you tell the person, like the colorist, the colors that you want for that character. That shit was flashing in the background while this nigga was doing all the crazy shit he was doing. That's on the level these niggas was flexing, bro.
That was
details.
This is a perfect movie. Honestly, I'll argue this movie against any actual movie. This might be the best. This is movie of the year. This better win movie of the year.
This shit was amazing.
Honestly, I'm gonna see Barbie. I'm gonna see Oppenheimer. I swear to God, if Oppenheimer is not better than this movie, I am going to.
It's not.
Christopher Nolan better count his days. Because I'm going to go on a nuclear rant.
It's literally
if that shit is just... If it's not... Yo,
it's going to be good. It's probably going to be
It's going to be amazing. But I'm saying if it's not better than this movie...
It's not.
I'm going to go nuclear.
And I'll tell you why it's not going to be better. Because honestly, you'll watch it. Do you think that movie's going to push film forward in any way?
The only
No,
way
it's
I
not.
have
Let's
an
just be
idea
honest.
of how it can. I have an
not.
idea of how it can. He
It's
just got to
not.
unleash some radiation into the movie theater when the bomb go off. And that might push cinema into forward ways. Where they're just like, did he just murder people for the sake of cinema? And everyone's gonna, and then Martin Scorsese's gonna pop out and go, "This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to cinema." Honestly, if Martin Scorsese don't say Across the Spider-Verse is a
cinema
5 in his cinema, or a 5 out of 5, or a 10 out of 10 in his cinema,
there was no mobsters in it, bro.
he's a piece of shit.
There's no mobsters in it.
And y'all can quote me on that one. If it's not a perfect movie to him, he's a fucking old dingy hater. Fuck you, dude. But that's only if he feels only like that. Only if he feels like that.
If he doesn't say that, then we take it back. I'm
sorry. We take it back. But I'm gonna be honest. If anyone thinks this movie is less than a 5 out of 5,
it's impossible,
you're a fucking liar. I'll tell you to your face that you're a fucking liar.
This movie has literally pushed animation. Like, I guarantee you, within the next 4 to 5 years, a bunch of movies are going to try to steal this.
Bruh.
Ninja
the
Turtles.
Only other movie I can think of that comes close to this is Puss in Boots. With the animation and the crazy animation. But other than that, Spider-Verse been
I'm not even talking about just like the. I'm talking.
You're talking about that art style and shit. Yeah,
like the influence, bro. Like,
yeah, they're
the new Ninja Turtles movie looks good. I think it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna watch it. And I take nothing away from it, but you see who the father is of that style.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, you know where that came from, and that was from the first movie. So imagine the influence this new movie is gonna have on different animations going forward, bro. Like, they're paving a way. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's genius about it. It's like there's no blueprint. They're figuring that shit out as they go along and created their own style. You know what I'm saying? And now I guarantee within the next 4 to 5 years, you're going to see more people try to do shit like that. Like, maybe, obviously not successfully. Like, they're not going to mimic it perfectly, but they're going to try. You know what I'm saying? Because what else is seeing that? Like, I don't see how that loses against anything in an award when it comes to animation. To me, that's like an easy win, easy layup.
They got to win actual movie awards too, because this is like something where in multiple ways, easy layup for animation. The easiest layup. And if you don't agree, you're fucking on crack. You're smoking crack.
I agree with you. I'll change that one word that you said, win actual awards, because
no, that's an actual award. I'm sorry, I'll take that back because animation,
and I feel like they need to win because the animation is so good. They should make people take animation more seriously,
more serious. That's
because
a fact.
They did that shit on such a technical level. Not even just it just looks good on a technical level.
That's a fact.
They should win just based off of that. Like, you need to respect animation just off of that. Even if you thought before then animation is for kids. No, watch this movie.
Nah, bro. Nigga.
No, watch this movie and take notes. Like, on a technical level.
I feel like we said a similar thing about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Like, more MCA movies are not for kids.
Exactly.
They're not only for fucking children. You can make a movie that's both for children and for adults. And in the same way with this, you can make a dark fucking movie that children will fucking enjoy. That will be beautiful and technical on a masterclass level, but also cinematic on a critic level.
Yes.
So it's a perfect fucking movie. I don't know how more I could say.
I will say one of my other things, like I brought up Miguel. I do want to talk about the whole vampire shit that he had going on. Yeah. They glossed over that, and I'm sure it's going to have a bigger role in the next movie. But there was definitely a scene that was not just like, this is just flexing animation. This nigga literally took his mask off.
It was scary.
And
it was scary as shit.
Teeth.
I remember seeing it.
He's like,
I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then they stopped him and he put it back on. I was like, wait a minute. Are we going to ignore it? He just almost ate this man?
Yo, I was like, And then later on, like he talked about like taking like whatever it was. And he was like, I'm different from all the other Spider-Men. So I don't know what it is that he's taking. I'm assuming it's something that he didn't get bit with a spider and maybe he has to inject himself, or he's trying to fend something.
You want to know a story?
I mean, you could tell me the story, but before you get into it, I just feel like because I mean, I'm familiar with Spider-Man 2099, but at the same time, I feel like because of the universe that they're creating with this animated shit, I expect them to change little things to fit their narrative. You know what I'm saying?
Go
ahead.
I don't think they will because his narrative and story in the comic works perfectly with how he is right now. So basically, in his world, and they showed Alchemax. In his world, basically, Alchemax like runs everything, and he works for them in like a security thing. He gets like a super soldier serum that makes him a vampire, and like his spider suit and all his spider powers is because his suit is advanced technology. And like Alchemax, he works for them but they're also mad corrupt, so he works with them, uses their technology, and then also fucks the corruption up from the inside.
Got you.
So basically, he's like one of the only Spider-Men that's actually not a spider. He don't have spider powers. Like he's literally a fucking vampire. He's just a vampire.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Like the fact that he literally says, like, yo, I'm not like the rest of them. And you can see it in like certain scenes where like he gets like bloodshot eyes, like and he's just like freaks out on everyone. But at the same time, like I feel like that's gonna be, you know, what leads to his conflict with Miles, where Miles is like, yo, bro, like I understand you're trying to do the right thing, but you're fucking wilding out, son. Like you need to there's a better way. And I feel like he's gonna win the other Spider-Man over it. Cause there's that one scene where they killed it with the color, where everyone else is like faded out after Miles escapes, and he turns around, he's like, we're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. And everyone's just like, I don't fucking know, bro. And he's like, no, we're doing the right thing, I swear. But it's just like, does the means justify the ends? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this right?
He also don't know what the fuck he doing.
He don't.
He's projecting. That's like his whole thing. So
you know what I'm saying? So no, I honestly, other than that, I think what else did I have to cover? One thing that was like probably the cherry on top is how, I mean, we talked about like the art and the emotional shit, but the story itself is a good story. And I like how the movie itself started with Gwen, and they specifically was just like, yo, she was in a band, but she didn't feel good in the band, or like she didn't feel like a member of the band. And she was always trying to find her bandmates. The whole movie is her trying to find her fucking bandmates. And the movie ends with her finding her fucking bandmates, which was the original cast who she missed from the first one, just like Miles when he had that conversation with Peter. And he was like, yo, how come you didn't come to visit me? Like, I missed you guys. Like, you guys were all I had aside from my family, and I missed you guys. So for her to get my nigga Spider-Ham back, nigga, Spider Noir back, Penny Parker back, nigga, like to get the whole cast together and then get Hobie, get my son Pav, and like create this new band essentially to go find her lost bandmate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that was great. That was like a cherry on top for me. How the movie started is how the movie fucking ended. And I really enjoyed that very fucking much. Because as much as it's a Miles movie, it's also a Gwen movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, she played a very important role in it's kind of like what we were talking about with like Guardians, whereas like the movie, the series is supposed to be about Peter, but it's also about Rocket too. So it kind of felt like they shared that shit, and it never felt forced. That's a fact. It felt smooth, like the whole. You never felt like, oh, why are we getting so much Gwen, or oh, like what's going on? Everyone had just enough time where you were like happy with them being on screen. Just like I feel like Jessica's going to probably have a slightly bigger role in the next one, because we never meet who her baby daddy is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a fact. She keeps calling him gorgeous.
Exactly. I feel like he's going to come into play, and maybe she has the kid by then or whatever the case is. But I feel like all that comes into play, and they're setting all that shit up for the next one. So honestly, like, I don't even know what else to say about this movie, bro. Like, I've literally, this might be the first movie we've reviewed in all of 3 years where I have literally nothing negative to say. Nothing. They wowed me on every level. Emotional, action, design, art. Like, there's nothing. Like, what do you...
I don't know. It's just perfect.
I literally had nothing negative to say about this film, honestly. Like, they nailed it. And it blows my mind to think they can somehow be working on a better fucking version of this for the final one. How? I got nothing. I got nothing. You got anything else before you wrap?
Hey man. This is the best comic book movie. Easily. Better than any other comic book movie that's came out in like the last 15 years.
I got nothing. I got nothing negative to say. I got nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we guys hope you enjoyed the review. Not really a review. This is just a praise episode, to be honest with you, on every level. So, this has been another issue of the Mighty Metahumans, providing you with that high quality nerd commentary. Subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. You know what I mean? Follow us on Patreon. You know what I mean? We got the gang on there. We got the Gene Lannons on there. We got the Dennis Plus subscribers. You know what I mean? The Night Deviants back. This nigga's dropping episodes once a month, going crazy. We put no restrictions on that nigga. He can say what he want, do what he want. You know what I mean? Like, pull up, check that shit out. If you like the episodes, like I said, sign up on Patreon. You know what I mean? Any tier we appreciate. If you just could do the dollar tier and you just fuck with us, we appreciate that too. You know what I mean? You can find us on all social media sites as The Mighty Metas. That's TikTok, that's YouTube. Get those 1 minute reviews, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we're everywhere. You know what I mean? If you fuck with the gang and you got social media somewhere, we're probably on that shit. You know what I mean? You can find me on all social media sites as Old Dirty Dennis. That's OLDIRTYDENNIS. You can find my cards. You can find my art. And I'm going to say it here too. I'm definitely working on some Spider-Man art. That shit is definitely coming. I'm doing Spider-Punk for sure. I'm doing my son Miguel for sure. I'm definitely going to have to do something with Pav, the whole Indian Spider-Man shit. Like, this movie got me so hyped on just the art level. Look out for that shit. So go to my Etsy page, Art by Den, 2 N's, DENN. You know what I mean? Check my shit out. Check my cards out. Check all that shit out. You know what I mean? You can find my man Colton.
The Colton Show __ on Twitter. And then the Colton Show on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot now.
Yes,
and
sir.
yeah, thecoltonshow.com. That's my website. You can
Check
find
his
all
shit
my
out.
stuff there.
Yes, sir. Gas, give them something before they leave. Where can they find my son Gas?
Oh, 2_ gassed up.
2 gassed up, nigga.
Number 2_ gassed up.
Yes, sir. Send us home, bro.
This is the best comic book movie that's come out in the last 20 years. You sons of bitches need to catch up. Everybody. MCU, DCU, DC animated, Marvel animated, just any animation. Pixar, Disney, what other? Lionsgate. Who's the niggas that make Shrek? Universal. You guys all have to fucking catch up.
Niggas getting laughed right now, bro.
That's it. That's all.
So, yeah, we out.
Me, nigga. I said that. So did the critics.
They better. We out.